World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another hour of Leverage Your Score. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I am your Dress Down CEO, bringing it to you live from my favorite place on the entire planet, which is Yonkers, New York. Welcome, everyone, and as always, we are here exploring the possibilities of you getting to that level which you've always wanted to be at. I'm sure you can't be happy with a 650. I'm sure you can't be happy with a 750. You probably are a little bit excited about having the 750, but what's with an 850? Why haven't we achieved the ultimate accomplishment of 850? What is hindering us? What is preventing us? What is delaying us from the inevitable of having excellent, stellar credit? Well, today's show and the shows that are going to be going on throughout the rest of this month are going to be exploring the state of your credit. As with the State of the Union, we've already know that the state of this union is strong, but it's fragile. And I believe the state of your credit is probably equally as such. I think it's more fragile than it is strong, but regardless, you should still be able to achieve ultimate success with your credit, depending on how you're using it. And if you're using it inappropriately, well, these are the shows that are going to help you with making sure that you are benefiting from using your credit products. That's the whole purpose of having credit products, is that you benefit from the usage, that you do exactly as is described or prescribed so that you can benefit maximum output for your input. And if you are struggling in that, well, these are the shows that are going to help you with getting to that next level. Leverage Your Score is about using all of the tools, resources that you have available to you to raise that score beyond. And a lot of us we're not doing the ideal understanding of how we bring that credit to that next level. So again, leverage your score with your Dress Down CEO, Tyrone Glover. I love what I do. I appreciate the fact that you make the time. And as always, I always ask everybody, if you have this device right in front of you, go ahead and do me that just solid. Again, do me that solid. Go to your Facebook, go to wherever it is that you share your information and share, please. A lot of the times, and I say it over and over and over, we get this information and we hold on to it. Why are we holding on to it? Share it. If you can do me the solid just by sharing it with one person in your social media feed, one person in your contacts, one person in your email, it doesn't matter. You don't have to do 3. You can do 1. I just want you to do it to one person, and then also attached to that one person, please share it equally. We're struggling because we're not applying the principles in which we should be. So again, please, I've already done mine. I've already sent it out to a number of individuals on my feed, and all I'm asking is for you guys to do the exact same thing. So we're going to jump right into it. No more delay. We're going to get right to the show. And the show is the state of your credit. All right, in the state of your credit, how is the state of your credit? What's going on inside that credit report? Can you literally sit down and figure out all of the elements that might be helping, hindering, whatever it is? Do you have the skill set? Do you have the knowledge? Do you have the tools to be able to do that? And if you don't, this is what these shows are for. Teams are successful because they have a variety of different elements to make them successful. And the first thing that you're going to always need to be a part of a successful team is you're going to need a coach. And these shows are presented by someone who's the CEO, someone who's a credit recovery coach, a credit recovery advocate, someone who loves this. I am an enthusiast about credit. I look at credit just like other individuals might look at sports, or they might look at other things that they like in life. Some people are foodies. I'm a credit junkie. I am a credit advocate. I love this. I am an enthusiast. I love this. I go to great lengths to make sure that you, the consumer, have all the tools, the resources that you need to perform at the best of your ability when it comes to your credit. It's just that simple. I don't do this for a fee. I do this for free. That's what these shows are for, to give you information. I can't force you to do anything, but information is free. It's free. So get this information, take what you need and discard what you don't. But I'm telling you right now, the state of your credit is not where it needs to be, and it now needs to be even more important to you than ever before. If you can watch the battery level on your phone, you should be watching the credit level in your score. If you are paying attention to the gas level in your car, then you should be watching the credit level of your score. Okay? If you're making sure that your children are behaving in school, then you should be watching the credit level of your score. It's just that simple. Those things that are important to you, add this now to that list of importance. Your credit score is going to help you more than you could ever possibly imagine if you maintain it properly. And that's what I'm here to help you with doing today. All right, so we're going to move right along. So welcome, everyone. As always, again, my name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the Dress Down CEO, and I just want to thank you. Thank you for making the time. We're not finding any more time because I said it already before. We cannot find times. You have to make that time. You have to dedicate that time. You have to be committed to that time if you want the success. Okay? Success is easy if you want it. You have to want it more than those who are offering it to you. So thank you, everybody, and I appreciate you. And let's keep this conversation going as we move through the various elements, the various circumstances, the various situations that keep our credit less than stellar. All right, so today's agenda, we're going to be talking about credit reports and scores. We're going to also be talking about how good credit scores work, the different scores and the different loans. A good credit score can save you money, and how to get a good credit score. All of these things are so important. And when we go over it, you'll probably pick up what you need. And as I state, whatever you don't need, put it to the side, but have something to write on, something to write with, because these are important. They're not only important for me, but they're equally important for you. And I want everyone who makes that time to be successful. It's just that simple. If you are putting in the time, then you should be reaping the rewards. All right. So if you haven't already shared, please go ahead and go back, share that information. If you have already shared, thank you so much. Let's keep it going. All right, so credit reports and scores. Understanding your credit score and being able to read the credit report is critical. Learn how to obtain and interpret your report. Challenge errors in your credit report and improve your overall credit score. And that's the biggest piece, this word right here, challenge. You want to challenge. You do not want to dispute by law. Again, understanding the verbiage and the definitions of certain words is going to prevent or help you. Again, it's going to help you or prevent you. All right. I'm here to tell you right now, you don't want to dispute something unless you physically did not do it. All right. If you physically did not do it, then you want to dispute it. But if you had some participation in, but you are maybe a bit skeptic as to whether or not the information might be 100% yours, well, you want to challenge those errors. Okay, you want to challenge those errors. There's a huge play in those two words. Huge play. A dispute means it's not mine, so I'm disputing the entirety of that item. Whereas a challenge means I'm challenging the validity of the information that's already now being reported. Okay, so it's really important to understand every trade line that's in your credit report. Every trade line, not one, not two, but every single one of those trade lines that you know exactly. Okay, so it's really super important that you're doing those pieces. All right, so how a good credit score works. Your credit score is a 3-digit number which summarizes the information in your credit report. A regular updated record of all your borrowing history based on information submitted by your creditors. Each of the 3 major credit bureaus, and again, these are not bureaus, but I left that word in there specifically so that you'd understand they're not bureaus. They do not belong to the federal government. These institutions are for-profit entities, and they are making billions of dollars off of our inability to challenge the validity of the information in that report that they're providing. Compiling a credit report on you. That's what they're doing. They're compiling all of your behavior. And a lot of the behavior that they're compiling does not fit to who you are. I'm telling you. It's just that simple. A mathematic algorithm known as a credit scoring model is then applied to the information in your credit report to calculate a credit score when a lender requests it. All right. So it's real simple. If the score is, or excuse me, if the information is wrong, then the score is wrong. It's really that simple. Just think about it this mathematical algorithm. Okay, mathematical algorithm. If you took a test and you got on that test 100, and the seating partner next to you got a 90, and the other partner next to you got an 80, but yet you all compared your answers, and then the 80 found out that actually they had 100, obviously they would go back to the source and say, hey, wait a minute, you might have graded something wrong. This is what's happening with your credit reports. We're not challenging, we're not going back to the entities that we're in contractual relationships with, and we're not asking them to do or honor their contractual understanding. They want us to meet our contractual understanding, but they don't have to meet theirs. Then it's not a real contract if one party has to do the actual understanding per the contract. So please make sure that you are doing that part. Paying on time, making sure that they report on time. If you're paying on time, they should make sure that they're reporting on time. If you pay on time, they report on time, you are going to get the biggest bang to your credit report. Okay, those 2 items. The other 3 items that are your credit mix, those 3 items come with a whole cadre of other types of situations, but you want to make sure that you get the 2 biggest bangs for your buck. Paying on time, utilization. Overall, 65% of your overall credit is in those 2 areas. All right, so here's some 5 key conditions that a bank will take into account when reviewing your loan eligibility. All right, your conditions, the purpose of the loan. What do you need the loan for? Okay, so that's an understanding reason that they want to know what you need the loan for. Completely, again, legitimate. Another, the capacity. How do you plan to repay the loan? If you have a job, if you have savings, if you have whatever it is, the banks are going to want to know, are you able to adequately pay them back without having any circumstances or situations? Collateral, a form of security that guarantees repayment. Some banks, some lending institution may ask for a little collateral. Again, all depends on the circumstance of the loan. If you're buying a car, the car is the collateral. If you're buying a home, the home is collateral. If you're getting a credit card, depending on your credit, your down payment, or not necessarily your down payment, but you're securing it with your resources may be your guarantee. But if you have exceptional credit by getting a lower interest rate, that could be your collateral. All right, so there are so many factors that play into credit, and a lot of us don't understand it. So that's why you must have someone like myself who's a coach, who doesn't mind holding that hand, who doesn't mind making sure that you're on a winning team, because that's what I'm sure you want. I don't know too many people out there who want to be on a losing team. All right, your character demonstrates responsibility and integrity of your actions. Character means a lot, not just for us. It also means a lot for the entity, Equifax TransUnion Experian, because I don't believe they have any character. I believe they are greedy grubbers, scoundrels, scallywags, disgusting, habitual abusers of public trust. Yes, I said that about Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. They are horrible, 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 horrible entities, and they need to be eliminated. And as time goes on, you're going to find out, you're going to see. I've been doing this for about 19, 20 years now. I've found out and I've seen exactly what these entities do. They create havoc. They reek of stench. They reek of garbage. But yet Congress continues to let these habitual abusers of public trust continue to operate. Why? Well, there's got to be some form of an incentive for Congress to keep letting them do it. And obviously, as I said it many a times, Congress can never regulate those that pay them, those that give them resources. And I guarantee you, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian probably pump a lot of money into our congressional leaders. So it's really important to understand these 5 C's of credit, because they apply to you and they apply to also those who are monitoring your credit and those who are giving you your credit. All right, so different scoring models use similar aspects for your borrowing history to compute credit scores, such as payment history on loans and credit cards and total debt. But they weigh them in different ways, so your credit score varies by scoring model. Different models also set forth different scoring ranges, potentially resulting in a score that's good in one model or fair or even excellent in another. And this is where, again, these understandings need to be concrete, set in stone, and they shouldn't have any flexibility when it comes to how you yourself are being scored. As I stated, it's just like taking a test. Either the teacher's going to grade you correct, or he's going to make some mistakes. So that's it. But if they make some mistakes, it's your opportunity to go review it, follow up, and if everything's good, perfect. If there are some issues, you must challenge these discrepancies. I don't know too many people who will ride on empty, because eventually that gas tank is going to run out. You can keep playing Russian roulette if you want to, but eventually you're going to be sitting on the corner with nowhere to get to or no way to get to that next gas station. So stop playing Russian roulette with your credit. Stop. It's now overdue time to take this serious. Because I'm telling you, if you do what I'm asking you, by the end of this year, you could find yourself in a far better credit situation prior to the midterms and obviously prior to 2024, where the next election is going to determine which direction this country is going to be going. Are we going to remain a democracy, or are we going to fall into the grasps and the grips of autocracy? Because it's not that far away. It's literally a stone's throw away. We're that close. As Russia has invaded Ukraine, and our hearts goes out to all of the Ukrainians, we stand with you. We're 100%. Leverage Credit Recovery, Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO, is 100% behind you. And we feel for all your losses. And we hope that as we move, as the nation, as the country, as the world moves through this tragic event with you, we hope that nothing else comes out of it, because the Republicans here in this side of the West, they're talking about, if you probe Trump, then we're going to create a political war. Well, I'm here to tell everybody, all of us, this is not a war. Democracy is not a war. Democracy is what we either are going to be or not. It's just that simple. But I don't want to get off on another tangent. It's just something that I needed to express. It all ties in. It all is similar in some aspect. If we do our part, if we protect our citizens, if we allow for the effectiveness of proper follow-up, proper understanding, we'll never find ourselves in financial harm's way. I'm telling you, starts with your credit. All right, so the different scores in different loans. FIC, which is FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation, even creates different scores that are utilized according to the types of credit sought. One score is used when you're applying for an auto loan. Another score is used when you're applying for a mortgage application. Another is applied when you request a new credit score. So there alone, you got three different ways your score is going to be used for the 3 different credit products. All right, moreover, different creditors report information to different bureaus and at different times. And that is a purposeful understanding. It's a purposeful understanding that some creditors do not even report, say, for instance, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. They might not all report. And I'm always ask myself, why? Why wouldn't you want to have a balanced report of everything? Oh, because they have to pay a fine or a fee. They have to pay for this information. And then not all of them want to pay for that information. Not all of them want to have that because they want to keep these discrepancies ongoing. But if I had a math teacher and I had a science teacher and I had a history teacher, I wouldn't want any of them omitting the grade because it would lower my average. I'd want them all to, or it would either lower my average or raise my average. I don't want nothing omitted. I want it all to be included. And it's up to me to improve. And if I'm doing everything accordingly, then why should they be reporting it differently? So you may have a good credit score based on one bureau report and a fair credit score based on another. And this is what we're seeing. In and out, every single week, every single day, every single month. This is what we're seeing over and over and over and over. Equifax is 50, 60, 80, 100 points different than TransUnion. TransUnion is 50, 60, 80 points different than Experian. Why? You would think that all of these entities would want to operate with the understanding that we're all going to benefit. But that's not how they think. They're a business, and they're only going to protect their bottom line. Their algorithms are designed to protect their bottom line. They're not designed to protect you. They're not designed to help you. They're designed to make sure that they maximize their profitability at your expense. So when are you going to do your part to make sure that you're not getting taken advantage of? It's got to start now. It can't start during the next pandemic. It can't start during the next cycle of when I find a new job. It has to start now. All right, regardless of your scoring of the scoring models used, if you have a good credit score, you're statistically less likely to become delinquent or late on a payment. So lenders like banks, credit card companies, and auto dealers offer financing view you as a low credit risk and thereby more creditworthy or likely to repay on the loan. Okay, so again, that's not really determining much. Your behavior is going to determine whether or not you're going to keep that good credit score, not whether or not you have a good job, not whether or not you are a 2-income household. Your behavior, credit is a behavioral understanding. And the more that you understand about how you spend and use your credit product, the more you're going to be sufficient at obtaining the ideal credit score that you are seeking. Because we're going to make sure that you're paying on time. We're going to make sure that you're bringing down your utilization. We're going to make sure that you're not overextending your credit, meaning by inquiring. We're going to make sure that you have a nice, sufficient credit mix, which will come up here in just a minute. And we're going to equally make sure that you are doing as you should, because we're going to be following up with you twice a month. We're going to be staying on you, not staying on you like, oh my God. No, but on you like a coach, as I stated. We want to be part of a winning team. Now, if you want to be part of a losing team, I'm sure there are entities out there that will be more than happy to just take your money and let you do whatever you want while they're just taking your money. We're not doing that here. Information free, first and foremost, for you to explore, dive into, get all of the knowledge that you need. And then if you need further assistance, then that's where we come in as well, to step in, to hold that hand, to coach you through, to make sure that you are good in every aspect of your credit. In turn, you're more likely to get approved for mortgage, credit cards, and other forms of credit, and that too at a more favorable annual percentage rate. So when you see that APR on your credit reports, or on your, excuse me, not your credit reports, but on your credit products, please understand that that means annual percentage rate, APR, and the terms that can potentially save you hundreds or thousands of dollars, all depending on what you're buying. In a credit card, depending on, again, if it's a credit card that's in a lower tier, that could save you hundreds of dollars. If it's an auto loan that's in a lower, middle, or higher tier, that can save you thousands of dollars. And equally, if it's in a home, you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, so be smart, be savvy, be wise when it comes to your credit. Get this information and start applying it today. However, the specific scores you need to get approved will determine on the lender and the loan. So always be seeking and searching for a willing participant. They're going to review that data. So start improving, start analyzing and fixing, or excuse me, let me fix that word. Let me bring it back. Not fixing, but start recovering from poor credit behavior. If you do that, I'm telling you now, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, all depends on you clearly. Because if you're not doing the work, there's nothing that I can do. There's nothing that I can do. If you don't apply the exact same amount of effort that I'm applying to make sure that you have the same understanding. And if you do that, win-win, win-win, you're going to be part of a winning team. You're going to find yourselves in championships all the time. You're going to find yourself walking around with, I'm number one. Nobody's going to be able to stop you. Nobody. You're going to be in it to win it. And I hope that's what you are here today expressing. All right. So a good credit score can save you money. Just that simple. Can save you money. If you don't have a good credit score, it doesn't necessarily mean you won't get approved. But if you are approved, the lender may charge you a higher interest rate or ask for a bigger down payment. We're seeing it all the time. But with alternative lenders out there, there are multiple circumstances that could free up and help you save money. It's about what you do with this understanding. If you want to save thousands, if you want to save hundreds of thousands, start working on recovering from poor credit behavior. It's just that simple. Start recovering from poor credit behavior. If you're applying for utilities or other monthly services, you may have to pay a security deposit to get your services established. This is another way to save you on those understandings. Why is it that you have to pay $500 and $600 and $700 to get your cable on? Why is it that you have to pay $1,000, $2,000 to get a cell phone? Why? Because your credit is not meeting who and what you are. Your behavior is demonstrating something completely different. And when you have the practice, when you have the understanding, you'll start performing exactly in the manner in which you should. Right? Or the lender may require you to have a cosigner, someone with superior credit who will be responsible for paying back the money if you fail to do so before you can be approved. And that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with having someone with a superior credit profile who can co-sign with you, or you can become an authorized user on their credit. But as long as you are meeting the understandings as we have discussed, paying on time, making sure you bring down that utilization. Paying on time, making sure you bring down that utilization. Paying on time, making sure you bring down that utilization. The other three, which we'll talk about in just a minute here, they have an impact, but those two, paying on time and making sure you're bringing down that utilization, is going to save you thousands over the course, and if not hundreds of thousands over the course of your lifetime when it comes to your credit obligations. All right, for example, let's say you want to take out a 30-year mortgage for a $250,000 a home. As you have a good credit score of 670, your lender is willing to approve you for a low APR, annual percentage rate, of 3.43. That seems beautiful. Your monthly payment would be somewhere around $1,113, and you'd pay $150,732 in interest over the terms of the loan. If you had only a fair credit of, say, 659 and qualified for a higher APR of 386. Again, that's only less than 40 something points. You'd pay, again, look at the difference. That's $60 per month. And look at the difference in that $60. That's another $22,000, almost $21,000 in total interest. Just with a, what do we say? Less than 29? No, 21 points. Less than 21 points. Less than 21 points. Is it? No, I'm sorry. 11 points. My apologies. 11 points. 11-point difference. With an 11-point difference, you're saving yourself $21,000 over the course of your loan. And that should, again, just imagine if you got it even higher. Imagine if you got it up to 20 points or 30 points or 40 points. You got into that 700 tier. You got into that 800 tier. Okay, do you see how important it is to make sure that everyone, not just me, not just you, but everyone that is within your vicinity, someone that you share space with, whether it be co-working space, whether it be passerby space, whether it be within that household space, you have to be sharing this information, because I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact, crying, they're in need. They don't know where to turn. Be that resource for them. Help them with understanding the importance of establishing and keeping good credit. And if you've found yourself already in that realm of, oh my God, I've already made some mistakes, well, let's get back to the reestablishing of good credit. It's not that hard. It's not that challenging. It's not that difficult. All you need is willing participants. And I'm here to tell you right now, Tyrone Glover, the Dress Down CEO, is a willing participant. You got to want it more than I do. And if you do, I'm telling you right now, the success is yours to have for the taking. All right, so how to get a good credit score? Take these steps and take these steps to get and maintain a credit score in the good or very good range. Just that simple. Use your devices. Use the resources that you have. Phones, great opportunity to make sure that I'm tracking everything accordingly. Computers, great opportunities to create spreadsheets and things that you need to be able to keep a balanced record of making sure that your information is being more or less reported properly. And if it's not, at least you have something that you can go back to and say, hey, what's going on here? What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Because I don't think you're keeping or doing as you were supposed to be doing by me. Because if you were, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation. But I'm telling you right now, good, very good, exceptional. Good, very good, exceptional. Good, very good, exceptional. Okay, these are the ranges that we should be more or less residing in. Fair and unsatisfactory or poor, that doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work today. It never worked. And now is more than ever the time frame to get into these good, very good, exceptional ranges. And all you have to do is want it more than those who are offering it to you. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. All right, so here's one. Check your credit score. Get a credit score. Getting your credit score will give you an idea of your credit worthiness. Credit card companies and other lenders will sometimes provide you with a free credit score. And annual credit report is providing a free credit score. Due to COVID, you're getting a copy every single month. Now, obviously, that will change as the circumstances in the United States change and we start eliminating the understanding of what COVID was for the last 2 years and start finding some semblance of normacy. All right? You can also request them using the websites of the 3 credit bureaus or other organizations like FICO, which is FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation. But as I said before, and I will constantly keep saying, these reports are fraudulently, they're made up. They don't have all of the required information. You're getting duped. You're getting taken advantage of. A lot of these companies don't even themselves know how to give you proper scoring or even give you a proper explanation of what they're even scoring. I can tell you that right off the head. I asked FICO, and a lot of the individuals there didn't even know what the heck they were even saying. And it's pretty sad. Again, I'm 15 years deep in, a little bit more. I have questions that these individuals will never be able to answer, ever. And every time I pose one of them, it's always like, let me go ask somebody. Well, you're the representative. Who you got to ask? You're the person who I'm calling and asking you. Who do you got to know? Go and ask. But this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with incompetent individuals, and I'm not going to call them incompetent per se, maybe being able to answer the phone, because as a customer service representative, you've got to be competent to pick up the phone and go, hey, hello, my name is so-and-so and so-and-so. But the incompetency comes in when they're attempting to explain something to you about your credit report that they have absolutely zero clue about. Anybody willing to try me out? If you are, let me know, because I'm willing to set you, myself, and them up with a phone call, and we'll ask those questions. So you may or may not be charged with any cost depending on the bureau and its current promotion, or whether you also request another product or service. Some companies offer free credit scores if you pay the credit monitoring service. So it's really important to understand, am I looking for the data or am I looking for the score? If you're looking for the score, I'm going to tell you right now, if the data is incorrect, the score is incorrect. You're entitled to a free credit report from each of the 3 credit bureaus, and this was prior to COVID. Once a year, you now get it actually every single month if you want to. You can obtain the report by going directly to the bureau site, now the bureau site, or through annualcreditreport.com. So the bureau sites that I'm referring to, and I'm going to stick with that word because it's more accustomed to what you are more or less privy to, because they can still keep calling them bureaus, even though that they are private for-profit entities. They do not and have zero relationship with the United States government. All right. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian has zero relations with the United States government. And believe it or not, slowly but surely, I believe the United States government is getting exhausted with them. Because as I stated, report after 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 report. I've read so many of them, and they all say the same thing. How horrible, how despicable, how egregious, how obsessive these companies are with abusing consumer trust. Obsessed. And all they do is get a slap on the wrist. Don't do it again. And then they go right back out and they abuse again. Don't do it again. And they go right back out. We're empowering, we're emboldening Equifax, TransUnion, Experian to keep doing the exact same thing. I'm asking all of us now to start taking this serious, and let's start holding their feet to the fire if necessary. Let's get together, as many of us as possible, and let's put them out of business. If Congress doesn't want to do it, we, the citizens, should do it. Class action, class action, class action. Trust me when I tell you, class action. Not have them settle to go back into business, but class action them into extinction. That's how you do it. You get rid of the habitual abusers. You would not be in an abusive relationship. And if you were, that's, again, goes to show the character of who you are. But I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be in an abusive relationship. I'm not going to be in an abusive relationship with absolutely nobody. And Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are abusers. They're habitual abusers, and they need to be put out of their misery. Just that simple. And if Congress doesn't want to do it, we, the citizens, must. All right, so it's 2, review and correct credit reports. It's just that simple. Why wouldn't you review it and check to make sure that the information that is being represented or presented about you is not correct? Fair Isaac Corporation considers total debt and amount owed as a highly influential component of your credit score. And the Vantage score considers the percentage of your credit limit in use as highly influential and total debt as moderately influential. Ensure your balances make up no more than 26% of your available credit by paying down existing debt. Now, I brought this up just a little bit because normally I would say 23, but I brought it up just a little bit just to kind of, again, give you some room. You got to give your lender a little bit of love. Why? If you're in that 600 range or that 700 range, give them some love. It's okay. You're going to, I don't like interest. I don't like paying interest. I'd rather pay everything down to zero. Well, you forget that you're going to need that credit product again sometime down the road. You're going to need that lender again sometimes down the road. So give them what they need now. And I'm telling you, when that next opportunity comes along, your lender's going to be much more favorable to you. They're going to be much more open. They're going to be much more willing, because you are a willing participant in the beginning, to give them. So they're going to give you, obviously, if you negotiate. Everything is a negotiation. Everything is a negotiation. Credit is a negotiation. You just have to find that willing participant. But if everything is on point on your end, the willing participants are already there. Okay. Review and correct credit reports. Number 3, pay bills on time. Paying history is among the most influential criteria considered by all lenders. Payment history is 35% of your overall credit score. So why would you not want to pay that on time? They're going to give you a free, not necessarily free, you've done the work, but they're going to say, here you go. Thank you very much for paying on time. Here's 35% of your overall credit score. Bam, right off the jump. Making sure you pay it on time. Making sure you pay it on time. Making sure you pay it on time. If for whatever reason you can't make the full payment, bring it down to that 26%, well, do the minimum. In the next week or two, or whatever time frame that might be before that payment and that reporting hits, you might be able to come up with a little bit more change to bring it back down to that 26%. But do not miss out because you want to get it all the way down to that 26%. Make sure you make the minimum, because that is the paying on time. And then you have a time frame between once it's paid, because that's considered your due date, that's a contractual understanding, and the time that they're reporting. That is also equally a contractual understanding. They're going to give you a time frame when Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian has to have that information on your credit report. And that's where you, again, come back into play. Because you have to, if they give you a date, they tell you, this is hypothetical, they tell you your payment is due on the 1st, and they said they report on the 7th. All right, that's 7 business days. You have to wait that time frame. Don't use that product until that actual 8th day. And on that 8th day, before you even use that product, call and say, hey, just check it out. Did you report? If they say, yes, we report, and you don't see it on your credit report, they're going to do something which is called an expedited. Okay, they're going to expedite that and make sure that it goes to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. So we can get in front of these negative credit understandings prior to they becoming situations that are out of our control. And credit is not out of your control because it's always in your control. You just need to know how to control it so that it's your benefit versus the lender's profit. Okay? Your benefit versus the lender's profit. It's not that hard. All right, number 4, keep balances low. FICO considers the total debt and amount owed as a highly influential component. Ensure your balances make up no more than 26% of your available credit by paying down existing debt. It's just that simple. Keep it low. Keep it low. Pay it off, or excuse me, pay it down. Paying it off is not necessarily the best thing depending on your credit score. If you're in that 850, pay it off. Pay it to 0. They're going to love you anyway because you're already getting 1 or 2%. But if you're in that 6, 5, 7, you got to stick within a certain percentile because that's only going to help you. Because if you decide to get out of that percentile, it might do you more harm. Okay, so it's really important. All we're doing, again, we're providing you with the information, the infrastructure so that you can create the balanced understanding that fits to your financial behavior. That easy, that simple. None of this, what I'm talking about, is complex. It's actually pretty simple. And if you apply these principles on a month to month to month to month to month basis, watch that credit go through the roof. And I will also equally want you to start having these conversations at the dinner table. Start having these conversations on those road trips. Start having these conversations as we end the school year and start going into the summer months. Start having these conversations if you are tired of paying a renter and you want to now be a homeowner. Start having these conversations about how many credit cards should I have. The average consumer, single person, should have between 5 and 8 credit products. Start having these conversations if you are a household of a mom, a dad, whatever the circumstances may be. Start having these conversations so that all of us, you want to change the political status in this country? Start taking care of your credit. Start showing corporate America that, oh, we don't need your stuff. We don't need your stuff. We don't need your stuff. You need us more than we need you. Once you start doing that, I guarantee you, you'll start feeling financially secure. You'll start feeling financially fit. You'll start feeling financially stable. You'll start generating wealth. And that's the ultimate end all right there. Making sure that you're generating wealth. All right. The wealth is something that is going to be passed down. Debt is also something that could equally be passed down, but let's tie those two together, because there's bad debt and there's good debt. Bad debt is not necessarily a bad thing, because bad debt can turn into good debt. All right. But if you're not managing it properly, you're going to find yourselves in financial hardship all the time. And these are just strategies. These are just methods to help you get to that next level of stability when it comes to your financial understanding. All right, keep fee-free credit cards open. The length of a credit history has a moderate impact on your FICO score, and a heavy impact on your Vantage score. So again, you got 2 different scoring models there. FICO is one scoring model, and Vantage is the second score model. All right, to maintain a lengthy credit history and maximize your available credit, which in turn minimizes your credit utilization ratio. Okay, so you don't want to close these cards. You want to keep them open. You want to start allocating your cards to specific tasks. Keep cards open when they have no annual fees. And it really doesn't matter, even if they do have an annual fee, keep it open. It's about the reporting. Okay, it's about the reporting. You want positive reporting. And if you're allocating those cards to specific tasks, you're going to find yourself getting positive reporting. All right. Apply for new credit sparingly. Do not go out there. You're not desperate. Do not go out there and apply and apply and apply and apply and apply and apply and apply. You'll be shocked at inquiries, how much they actually deplete, how much they take away from. If you are needing credit, please find secure credit card methods. If you have an understanding or don't have an understanding of secured credit card methods, please send me an email, send me a comment. I'll be more than happy to share with you the variety of different secure credit products that I have in play right here on my phone. All you got to do is send me the information and I'll shoot it right back to you. If that's what you need, send me, text me, email me, go to Soul City Network, send it to them and get back in touch with me, or however, it doesn't matter. Send me your information and I will make sure you get a list of secured credit products that will not cost you 1 ounce of credit inquiry at all. Not 1 ounce, because that's the biggest bang or the biggest ding to your credit profile. Getting hit with a credit inquiry and then not getting the product. All right, so new credit has less influence on your FICO and Vantage score. But to get a good credit score, avoid frequent applications for credit, which causes you to incur or a hard inquiry. All right, that can negatively impact your score. All right, hard inquiry negatively impacts your score. Hard inquiry is you applying for loans or borrowing opportunities from lenders. A soft inquiry is you doing a credit check to make sure that all of your information is accurate, up to date, and it represents who you are. All right, hard inquiry, creditors, soft inquiry, you. Soft inquiry has no negative impact. Hard inquiry has nothing but negative impacts. All right, diversify your credit types. Credit cards, overdraft fees, business loans, student loans, mortgages, credit cards. All right, credit types. These are all credit types. When you do apply for credit, consider getting a loan or another type of credit. You don't always have in order to diversify your credit mix. All right, you don't always have in order to diversify your credit mix. We want you to, but you don't have to. You can have a 3 or 4 of the same from the same entity. It's okay, as long as you're getting reporting. But we like to see in a credit profile diversification. Have a MasterCard, have a Visa, have a Discovery, have an American Express, obviously, if they fit to your understanding. If they're not secured and you're not in the space where you can get an unsecured, stick with the secured. If you need to get 2, 3 of the same card, that's perfectly fine. The point that we're making is that you have to get reporting. Credit is about reporting. Credit is about positive reporting. Credit impact, positive or negative, is about reporting. And clearly you want positive reporting. All right. So again, the average consumer, single consumer, needs to have 5 to 8 credit products. All right. And the average household, 2 family, needs to have between 8 and 12 credit products. And if you're managing them properly, the sky's the limit. Generating wealth is the goal. And you're going to be not only just on your way to achieving that, you're going to have a coach and somebody else is going to stand by you to make sure that you're maximizing your return. All right. It's an investment. So maximize the return on that investment. All right. So here's that credit mix that I was talking about. What is your FICO score? All right. Your FICO score ranges from 300 to 850. Predicts how likely you are to repay your debt. Is used to determine interest rates for future loans. All right. So that is really important to understand. Payment history. Your payment history is this little section right here. And this part right here is worth 35%. 7-year history for payment records on all account types. Public records, bankruptcies, or delinquencies. Details on late or missed payments. Number of accounts with no late payments. So all of this right here applies to that right there. So if you got a good history, if you don't have any bankruptcies or public record delinquencies, if you don't have any late payments, if you have a number of no late payments, you're going to get this full 35%. And the saddest part about this is that they try to use negative old information and compound it. So it's really important to understand how this works. If you don't understand how it works, doesn't work, you need to get in touch with us. You need to call us. You need to reach out to us so that we can explain this fully. And we can check with you on a monthly basis to make sure that you're getting the full impact, 35%. So that 35% compounded with this 30%, which is this area here, amount owed. That's called the utilization. Debt to credit ratio, amount owed, total credit limit, amount owed on all types of accounts, and the number of accounts with balances. So if you're bringing all those balances down to that 26% or down to that 23%, also depending on your credit score already. If you're at 700, bring it down to 9%. If you're at 700, bring it down to 13%. If you're at 750, bring it down to 9%. If you're in that 800 range, you are fine with bringing it down to 0 or giving them just a little bit of love. All right. But if you're at 600 and you're paying it off, you're probably going to do yourself more harm than good. Okay. It's really important to understand this dynamic. You are in a relationship. Treat the relationships as such. Because I can tell you right now, if you were in a relationship with a different spouse or mate or whatever the circumstances may be, and if you only came home every day and gave a peck on the cheek, there would probably be some concerns. Do you really care? Do you really love? Are you invested? So the same thing has to apply when it comes to your credit. Are you invested in making sure that you're obtaining the best possible score? If you're not, then you need information that's going to help you get there. Just that simple. All right. Length of credit history, age of oldest account, age of newest account, average account age, length of time since account was used. So they're taking all of this into consideration. That's this 15 points. So just take, for instance, if you got this full 65%, if you got 10 from here, that 65 now turns to 75. And any school that I've been in, 75 is a passing grade. 65 is a passing grade, but it's mediocre. 75 brings you just a little bit up. You're still in that modest range, but let's take a look at this new credit. Amount of new credit, amount of recent inquiries, comparison of recent and past history, number of credit inquiries. That's going to give you 10 points. You might not get the full 10, but say you got 5. Now I went from 75 to now 80. Oh, I'm looking good now. So I'm supposed to get back 80% of my overall 100%. And lastly, the type of credit, number of revolving accounts. How do we manage all of these credit? Number of installment accounts, mortgages, car loans, student loans, credit cards. Again, this weighs into this area here. So say you don't get the full 10%. Say you get another 5. So I went from 35 to 65 to 75, to 80. Now I'm at 85%. That is a beautiful place to be sitting every single month because you're meeting all of these 5 understandings to keep that credit score going in an upwards trajectory. That's what we want. We want an upwards trajectory. Why are we doing this? Why are we on a roller coaster? Why are we going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up and down, up and down? It shouldn't be happening that way. Credit should be in an upwards trajectory. You're using it, you're paying it, you're bringing it down, you're meeting all of your terms and conditions. So why is it not going up? You're using it, you're paying it, you're bringing it down, you're meeting all your contractual relations and understandings. So why is it not going up? If it's not going up, that means there's some shenanigans going on within your credit profile that needs to be rectified. Just that simple, just that easy. All right, so some key takeaways. A good credit score is at or above average of the U.S. consumer and amount of, to a FICO score for at least 760 or a Vantage score of 661. That's just good. Okay, that's just good. But good is still going to keep you in a double-digit interest rate. All right, it's going to keep you in that double-digit interest rate. Such a score can increase the odds of getting approved of a loan or securing a favorable interest rate and other terms that can save you a bundle over time. To get a good credit score, check your existing scores and credit reports and build your credit by adapting positive borrowing habits like making on-time payments on loans. That's a very simple one. Positive borrowing habits like maintaining an on-time payment loan on time. If you start there, the utilization is going to be the second piece of where you're going to attempt to make sure that you're meeting. But the first part that we want all of you to get to, paying on time. Like I said, if you're paying on time and you have not brought it down, you still have a time frame before it gets reported. As long as you're not using that product, you bring it down within that time frame before it gets reported. Once it gets reported, you're going to find yourself sitting pretty. You're going to find yourself exceeding your wildest expectations when it comes to your credit. Okay, just some key takeaways. So, who are we? And where can you get in touch with us? We want you to drop us a line and let's brainstorm. We're on most of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and newly to TikTok. My mailing address is Leverage Credit Recovery, P.O. Box 101, Yonkers, New York, 10702. I can be reached at 805-428-9424. Here are my 2 emails, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. And my Instagram tagline is creditcoach411. And there's an email equally associated with that at gmail.com. And as always, you can go right to our website, leveragecreditrecovery.com. You can get into the calendar. You can have a one-on-one with the CEO, which is myself. We are here to make sure that you are 100% fit, financially secure, financially able to go out into the world and do exactly as you need to by your finances. Generating wealth is going to happen through maintaining a positive credit understanding and a relationship with yourself, not with your lenders, but with yourself first and foremost. And once you have that with yourself, once you understand who you are, then you're going to go out and make sure that your lenders are representing you in the exact same fashion. Because if they're not, they're doing you a disservice. Okay, it's just that simple. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they're not your friend. They're not. Their algorithms are set up to make them money. As always, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to do what I do. As I state all the time, Tuesdays are my favorite day of the whole wide, my favorite day in the whole wide world. I love it because not only do I get to go to school and teach my pre-Ks all the way up to my 8th graders, I get to come home after that and I get to educate, re-educate, reinstill some of these financial pluses that we all should be focusing on when it comes to our credit. It is always a pleasure. It is always my pleasure to do what I do to make sure that you are savvy, smart, well-informed when it comes to the understanding behind how you must maintain an excellent or a stellar credit report. I want to thank you as always. Everybody continue to be safe, stay healthy, stay well. Ukraine, we are with you. We stand with you. We appreciate you. And we know that what you're going through is traumatic, but we are here for you. Stay safe, America. Love you.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.